everybody, and welcome back to the United Stands Forum. Manchester United 2, Manchester City 1, as Ruben Amorim ends Pep Guardiola and Manchester City's title hopes at the Etihad. Not only Ruben Amorim, AMAD, a madness, an absolutely unbelievable result for Ruben Amorim. It's one of them wins where it's a statement win. Honestly, I need some soothers because my throat is so sore. The celebrations in the studio were absolutely crazy. I've got Tull, I've got Ricky, I've got Kev, I've got the whole community. Get in the comments. Manchester is red. How are we feeling, guys?
Absolutely over the moon. Absolutely fantastic.
Over the moon and back. Honestly, brilliant.
Can't believe it.
You know, well, I'm not just ruling Tull out, saying living in Manchester or whatever, but what it means, sorry mate, what it means, you know yourself as well, you got City mates or whatever, mate, but as a Mancunian, when it comes down to Derby Day, it is a thing, you know, there's some of us that will say United, Liverpool's the bigger kind of rivalry or whatever, but I love giving it them. And to do it in that style today, have a bit of that one.
I'll tell you the word that comes to my mind, which can't remember the last time we've used this word about United. Proud.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely
Agree.
proud. They deserved it.
We're getting them kind of days, but I'm sure we'll get into team selection and all that. There's so much to talk about.
You say about Liverpool, and obviously Liverpool is a big rival of Manchester United, but I'm going to be completely honest. I'm not just saying it because we've beat them. City's the worst for me. I can't stand City. I cannot stand them. Don't like Liverpool, but cannot stand City. I mean, and for me, winning that game, I said before, obviously I want to win every single Manchester derby. Does it affect us in the table that much? Not really. It's not as if we're really going for anything in the league right now. But it's just beating Man City. I don't care whatever state they're in. Beating them is fantastic. For Ruben Amorim, for the confidence of this team, it's fantastic. It's a statement win. And it's one of them wins where it's like, not only have you won, you have seen a performance. And I want to get straight off the bat and get your comments in. Because we have beaten Man City in recent times. We've done it under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We've done it under Erik ten Hag. But what it is for me is, I actually think, I don't know if you all agree, I think Man United were the better side. When have we been able to say that, even in games that we've beat them?
I don't even think it's just. I thought we were far better. Like, far better. I really do. I
We were better.
I really do. I think
on
we
the
were miles
overall
better.
performance, I think I'd agree.
I thought we were better in the first half, honestly.
You take the goal away that City scored. Apart from that, you know, I said to you, didn't I? I said, I feel like we're in this. If we can get one, but I didn't for 1 minute imagine at the point that we scored that we go on and win it. Even though I said it, it's more red-tinted specs where I'm like, well, go on and win this with a few minutes left. Delighted that we did, but it's so refreshing because, like you say, over the time that Pep's been there, so we talk about 7 or 8 years or whatever it is. You look at the games that we've had, we've been so out of... It's been damage limitations. They've scored 4s, 5s, 6... Whatever. It's been embarrassing, but I always felt, even at 1-0 down, we were always kind of in that game today. And that is testament to the in-game management. Amorim, we can talk about the facts. You could say, no Garnacho, no Rashford, no problem. You know, we've gone out there and put a statement... And all the players, every single one of them, Harry Maguire, who I've been quite vocal about in the past, I'd double down on that, and I'm not basing it off one game. I'm going to say he looks a lot more sort of, you know, better in a back three.
Well, the whole team played as a team. That's we set up as a team, we played as a team. And even in previous derbies, when we have won, we've scored goals on the counter-attack. But we've had wave after wave after wave of City attack, trying to defend it, you know, chance after chance for them. In this game, we held the ball. We could have made better decisions in the final third, but we created chances. I'll get through the stats. RXG, expected goals, was higher than theirs. I think we should have had a penalty. I mean, the referee tried his best to give City the advantage. We should have had a penalty. Arguably, Kyle Walker should have been sent off. We had more touches in our box than Man City have. That is unheard of, genuinely. And I know Manchester City aren't, you know, the Manchester City that have been, but they're having a wobble. They're still the title holders of last season. They still, you know, if they would have won this game, people would have been talking to them as still in the chance of winning the title. So there's still a lot to take from that. I mean, Ricky, we've not had your say yet. Get that phone on silent.
The Godfather does what he wants, doesn't he?
He'll do what he wants.
He does what he wants.
Ricky, take us through it, because how are you feeling? Are you happy with Ruben Amorim? Are you happy with the way he set up his team?
Absolutely over the moon. Couldn't be happier. I know there's a lot of stuff about Rashford and Garnacho, whether it's disciplinary, one thing and another, but they've just not been playing well enough. They're not number 10s for me. I've said it on here, and the players that played in the 10 role today, even Bruno, you know I'm not a big Bruno fan, he's better than one of them two in the 10. I did think Bruno was too sloppy with the ball a few times today, but overall he didn't have a bad game. Getting back to the lineup that he picked, the way the shape that they played, they were so difficult to break down. I said on the build-up show, somebody came in with a super chat during the build-up show saying, "What's the plan B?" And I said, "Don't worry about a plan B. We've just got to stay in the game, 0-0 or 0-1, and we are in the game. We do not need a plan B. At some stage, we can nick a goal, and you don't know where it's going to come from." And it came from an unusual thing where a bad back pass that AMAD got on to. That's where the goal came from. If you can stay in games, and that's the plan against a team like that, just stay in the game. And we weren't just hanging on. I also said on the build-up show, Beth, we've got to get more passages of play in their half of the field. And I bet you thought about it while you was watching it. We had loads of passages of play where we're keeping the ball and keeping it really well. And
the final end product and the quality wasn't quite there, but
exactly.
You're still having it.
You still got to have that. It builds confidence, and when you're playing against the top side, people think, "What's he on about?" It's taking time out of the game. You keeping the ball. They can't score while you've got the ball. Even when you're 1-0 down, that's important. When you're away, a team as good as them, even when you're 1-0 down, you still want there to be a little bit less time left. Do you understand what I mean? Because you're 1-0 down and you need to score, don't start thinking, "Oh, I wish there was an hour left still." Once it gets to less than 20-25 minutes, then you've got to start thinking like that. We need a little bit more time. But if we were 1-0 down, I'd rather be 1-0 down with 25 minutes to play at City than 1-0 down with an hour to play. They're the ones more likely to score, not you. So you need that. You need to really come out strong in that last 20 minutes, and that's what we did. It worked out absolutely brilliantly for us. We stayed in the game. We didn't change to a plan B, and AMAD came from nowhere and did what he did. By the way, AMAD is absolutely fantastic, and I said to Beth when I walked in, I was telling people 18 months ago how good he was, and people in the chat, and I've had people in the chat saying, "Oh, everybody was saying," no, they weren't. 18 months ago when I was saying AMAD, get AMAD in the team, most people, when he was getting 10 minutes as sub instead of Anthony or whatever, and I was saying, "What a class player that lad looks," I was seeing people in the chat saying, "What's he talking about? What did AMAD do?" You can just see he's a good player, the way he moves with the ball, how close he keeps it to his feet, how sharp he is, how hard he works, how much pressure he puts on his opponent. He's an absolute gem.
Well, we'll get on to AMAD, and Kev, I'm going to bring you in a second, but I just need to bring this in because, Ricky, I think you're speaking a lot of facts there. A lot of facts. Stay in the game. Ruben Amorim has said, "I think we did a great job, controlled very well Manchester City. We don't allow a lot. It was different from Arsenal. I didn't feel that belief there. Today I felt it." And that was a key point to change the game. That's exactly what Tull said as we were watching the game. You just felt like something was going to come. The team could feel it as well. But more to the point, Rasmus Højlund has just posted on Instagram a picture, and his caption is, "Manchester is red, violets are blue. What a brilliant performance, but the Oscar goes to," and it's a picture of Kyle Walker.
Yes! I love that. I was hoping it was going to be Kyle Walker involved.
Top class.
Yes.
That is top class
That's
from
brilliant.
Rasmus Højlund.
That's brilliant.
Top class from Rasmus Højlund. I absolutely
Pure shithousery.
it.
But so was Kyle Walker dropping to the floor. And that shows you more where Man City are, how desperate they were to try. Kyle Walker, the captain of Manchester City, trying to get Højlund set off. What an absolute disgrace. And I'm just so glad it span around and he's on the losing team today, because he deserved to be.
I think that just summed up Kyle Walker's season, to be honest.
Yeah.
Pure
desperation, that.
And I love that Rasmus Højlund. We need that fight. We need, in previous times in Manchester derbies, it's been men against boys. We need men against men. We need that grit, and we need that belief from the team. And Rasmus Højlund instilled that. We had the energy all throughout the team. One thing I want to start on this player. I've got my Erik ten Hag turtleneck on. This is usually an outfit he used to love. So, speaking of Erik ten Hag, I'm only going to touch on it briefly, but to introduce my point, what on earth was he doing keeping AMAD from us? Like, keeping him from us, I want to get into it. AMAD, I mean, it's not about Ten Hag, it's about the player, because what a fantastic performance. But Tull, his work ethic, everything he gave today, I expect that from every single United player. It's just contagious. But what are your thoughts on AMAD's performance?
That's the best individual performance you've seen from a Manchester United player in a long time. A long, long time. Even when we were 1-0 down, I thought to myself, if we lose this 1-0, I'm still giving AMAD an 8 out of 10. An 8.5 out of 10. Just all game long, he's an outlet. And then when in those moments where, like you mentioned, the passage of play when you've got to keep the ball, he's so reliable. He never, very rarely gives the ball away. I know every now and then he'll take a shot. But in terms of those important moments when you're around the box, you don't want to give the ball away. And it doesn't just go for AMAD that, because I thought the team as a whole, I thought Bruno a little bit in the second half was a little bit sloppy, but I thought he was really good in the first half at keeping the ball. But as a whole, the entire team today was just so much tidier. And I think there's a thing of, and AMAD would be a key part of this. It breeds, if you've got players playing neat and tidy, keeping the ball, it's contagious. The other players will match that energy on the pitch. When you've got players giving the ball away constantly and running down blind alleys, players' edge drop. You've got to have more players like AMAD in the team. Absolutely.
I mean, Kev, that run for the second, it's the intelligence and the finish. I mean, it's not a coincidence that under immense pressure, AMAD has scored the winner against Liverpool 4-3 at Old Trafford with a similar-ish type position. And again, the touch was class, the run was class, and then the finish. I mean, is he an example to everybody else fighting there? Because in the first half, for me, obviously very unfortunate about Mount. We'll get onto that in a bit. But Mount, Højlund and AMAD, their work rate was sensational. Kobbie Mainoo came on, and I thought he did a really good job as well. We'll get onto him. But do you think AMAD sets the tone? Do you think he's the key player for Manchester United in that final third?
Without... I want to wax lyrical about him because I think he's a fantastic player. We've sat here so many times wondering under Erik Ten Hag why he wasn't getting in the team. Even under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to an extent. We spent a lot of money on him and it was like, maybe he's one for the future or whatever. But at the age that he's at the minute, you think that this lad is ready. And whenever he's been called upon, for whatever reason, he might be taken out of the team the next week. He's never really disappointed me much, AMAD. And I kind of look at him and think, he's a player that deserves to be in there. At this moment in time, he is, I've said it before anyway, you look in contrast to the two players that were missing today in Garnacho and Rashford, AMAD is miles ahead. Now, it comes down to football IQ, football ability, just looking interested. You know, the fact that he was able to give a shift like that today where he went out and did everything that the manager asked of him. And this is what it comes down to now. I know your famous clip of, you know, when you were like, I said this years ago or whatever, I'm just a YouTuber or whatever, he's on. But Amorim has come in now and actually, we're talking, how long's Amorim been there?
Can I come in there? He's got it so badly wrong. People need to understand how much he was getting so many things wrong. Yeah. We won't go down this avenue. I'll just say it dead quickly. But Jadon Sancho as well, not getting selected behind Rashford and behind Anthony, going away and playing in the European Cup final, and now he's playing for Chelsea, who are in the top four and looking like they might mount a challenge. Different gravy compared to them, and they're playing all the time ahead of AMAD, ahead of Jadon Sancho.
And I said when I spoke to you on the build-up, it's just what this manager is doing now and what he needs to quickly identify, which any manager should anyway. You pick the players that fit the system, it makes sense. But the ones that you can actually trust, forget about the brand, how much they're on a week or whatever. It shouldn't come down to that. What it comes down to now is the fact that AMAD is easily in that forward line the best standout player. He deserves to be in the team. He deserves all the credit he gets this evening because he was literally a match winner.
And you can see it all throughout the game as well. And credit to Ruben Amorim for keeping him on, because when he was making them substitutions, in the back of my head I was like, oh, please don't be AMAD coming off. And he made the exact right substitutions. I actually think Anthony came on and did work pretty well as well.
Did all right, yeah.
But keeping AMAD on was so important because he looked like, at a time, the only player that was going to create or do something in that final third. Bruno did it at times as well, and he should have scored the opportunity. It was a great pass from Rasmus, actually. We'll give a shout out to Rasmus from that. A great pass, like kind of returning the favour from midweek to Bruno. He should have scored. But AMAD, it was so essential you keep him on, because when you've got a player of that quality who has the energy and that work rate and the way he was getting about the pitch, you've always got a chance. You've always got a chance to get something with his sort of intelligence, and that's exactly what you got. I mean, Ricky, just to quickly finish up on AMAD before we move on the show and get onto some super chats, and there's some quotes coming out from Ruben Amorim, by the way, that I'm going to get in, which are just, I mean, speaking of there about, you know, the right behaviours and everything, we'll get onto that.
Can we do an hour and a half tonight?
We'll keep it going for as long as the studio will
All night,
as long as the viewers stay with us. Yeah.
United stand lock-in.
But my question to you, and you guys chime in if you've got an opinion on it, AMAD, is he solidifying himself as the number 10 in this team?
Fantastic question. Everybody was saying only 2 weeks ago he's got to stay as the right wing back. Is that good?
He's better than
now
number 10.
as a number 10, everyone's saying he's got to play there. You know, I thought Mazraoui was doing pretty fine as a right wing back. You know, he's a good player, Mazraoui, isn't he? I think we're probably stronger with Ahmad at 10, aren't we? And Mazraoui at the right wing. Desperate for a look. Dalot's done fine again. He gets a lot of stick. Dalot. He's forever playing on the left. You need to understand the difference of playing on your weaker foot nearly all the time and having to check inside. I saw him play one sloppy ball where he's trying to knock it all the way across the field, and I think it went straight to Phil Foden. You know, it could have been so dangerous. But if he was playing on his natural side, he's less likely to cut in that way. It's because he's cut in that way, that's the area he's looking across the field, so he's trying to knock a long ball to Mazraoui. It's gone straight to Phil Foden. If he's playing on the other side, he's not going to cut in on his left foot, is he? Yeah. It's just things like that are going to happen less often.
His versatility is going to be one of the main keys. On AMAD. Yeah. I mean on AMAD, if you talk about his versatility now, and you think of the two jobs that you're being asked to do, if you're playing right wing back, which he played, and we were all like, I was like, defensively, he's going to be able to do it. He did it, passed it with flying colours, to then play in the number 10 as well and look even better. But it's almost like, well, if we did have an injury issue, AMAD can play right wing back. The versatility makes him even more appealing to Ruben Amorim.
Let's run a poll. Do you prefer Ahmad as a 10 or a wing back? I'm pretty sure I know what the answer is going to be, but I'll get the poll going. I mean, do you all think he has to be playing in that 10? Even though he is fantastic at wing back as well, do you think he has to play in the 10?
I'd water it down even more and say he's just got to play. It don't matter.
As long as he's on the pitch.
It don't matter. It's the exact same scenario how everyone, like when we had Wayne Rooney, and you play him anywhere. You're getting the same with that.
I agree with that, but I prefer him in the 10 because you want to get him closer to goal, I think. The one thing I would say, and I'm on the positivity train, there's so much to like about today's performance, honestly, considering the situation we're in as well with this team, this squad and where we've been at. There's so much to like, but we absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, and I say it every week, but it was highlighted today, we need a left wing back. And it's not a slight on Diallo, because like you said, I know he's playing out of position and he did a well enough job. But how many times did he get into that position and the space for him, but the quality of the cross isn't there because he's not naturally left-footed. He's just, if you actually had somebody who was technically top on their left foot as that left wing-back who could also defend, basically like an Ahmad, but like on that left side, with like you would be in such a better position, and I think we could have created more. Defensively, I think, you know, Diallo isn't like the absolute best on the left side. He's better on the right, but you can get away with it. But going forward, I think is where you really miss out without that left foot there. Yeah,
I think his end product.
He's better on the right.
I don't think his end product's the best. I'd love to see. I think this team could go up an extra 5 levels if you just had a specialist kind of wing back. And I think if you're going to get a specialist wing back, it's very rare that they'll be inverted. I know there's been an odd few throughout history where you get a right-footed left back, or I don't think you've ever really seen a left-footed right back. But usually, when you've got a specialist wing back who is one of the best in the world at the job, they're usually a left-footed left-sider or a right-footed right-sider. And I do think we do maybe look a little bit, not lopsided, that's not the right way to say
imbalanced.
It. Just a little bit imbalanced. I thought we were a little bit null on that side today with Diallo.
You had the opportunity, because Diallo kept getting into space and he kept getting the ball, but you just knew nothing of
real
quality was going to come from it.
Is the word I'd say. Yeah, it just felt a bit null.
And City know that, and they don't. Then it puts, you've got a marking, but there's less. If you've got someone who's really dangerous there, it takes more attention away too. I mean, Anthony Robinson from Fulham looks like a right shout. I've been looking at him for quite a while now, and he was fantastic for Fulham against Liverpool again. I mean, there's other names that we put out there, but get in the comments what you guys think. Got some super chats in, got loads of people watching as well. Hit a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Nearly at 2 million, let's get there over Christmas. Ash Hamrick says, please look at Hoyland's post, already looked at it, fantastic. Siraj says, Anthony looks salvageable, ? AMAD, we'll talk about Anthony in a bit because it's definitely something to bring up. Keel says, Anthony super sub again. Sai Rugara says, United 1878 to 2024, City 1880 to 2024. May they both rest in peace. Vinny Red 1, Eric Ten Hag out, Ahmad in. Finally, we've got a competent manager. The Shunk says, Amorim ball is here. Tom Grant says, evening everyone, hope you're well. Let's not forget, Ahmad was an Ollie signing. One major thing he got right, not only a bargain, but a world-class signing. Let's hope we can build on this. I'm just going to give a bit of credit. It was actually the scouts that went and got Ahmad, so credit to them. And remember, everyone laughed at us at the time because he had add-ons up to 40 million. Everyone's like, you've paid 40 million for him. He's worth about 400 million. Do you know what I mean? Andy Cheatham says, Amorim ball is here. Guy Fawkes says, love this community. Swami says, Ricky, respectfully, I was too saying free Ahmad. Fit for Bitcoin says, Amorim sounds like a leader implementing discipline. We'll get on to some of them quotes in a bit. Ghosty Boy says, say what you want about Bruno Fernandes, but he's bloody good with penalties. Samaya says, Xerxes dribbling with the ball to run down time at the end was worth the price. Midge36 says, I think Gary Neville supports City. I think he's trying so hard not to be biased on commentary.
Impartial. Yeah.
Comes off the other way. God, if I had a Beth cam on there, Gary Neville's commentary, I was going mad, weren't I? But he tries so hard to not be biased to United. It sometimes goes the other way, I think.
I didn't like Roy Keane's comments today either. I thought Roy Keane's comments were stupid.
You tell him.
He said United were crap.
God, you're a brave man,
I'm not going against Roy Keane.
I'm glad you picked up on it as well, because I was going mad. I can't believe he said we were rubbish in the first half.
Yeah, I don't get it. I heard Gary Neville in the first half to me, and I've had a go at him here before. He's out there and it's to see. But it's the same again. The first half today, I'm sat watching that game, and a WhatsApp group that I'm in with some of my pals, I hardly look at it during the game, but if the ball's dead, I have a quick look. All saying like, oh, this is rubbish. We're playing crap. Gary Neville more or less saying it's a poor derby game. He was saying I can't really remember him saying United were that poor, but he kept saying that it's such a poor derby game. And I'm on the edge of my seat thinking, just stay in this game. This is great. The shape's great. They're not hardly breaking us down at all. They're not creating a clear-cut chance. With the goal they were double lucky. That deflected cross went, he'd have gone straight to the defenders had it not got deflected. I thought United in the first half did exactly what they were there to do, to stay in the game and make sure that there was only hopefully 0-0 or 1-0 at the most at half time. And to me, it was a superb first half. I absolutely loved it. And Gary Neville saying it's crap, and some of my mates on the WhatsApp groups. I think Simo, I'll clip this one up, Simo, and send it to you if you're watching. You know what I mean?
Gary Neville should know better.
It was class.
He's played in teams under Sir Alex Ferguson.
Done that?
Everybody assumes that Sir Alex Ferguson, even if he weren't around at the time when he managed, that United just went bang, bang, bang. It didn't. There was games when we had to stay in the game.
That's what I wanted to say. The commentator said, in the last 3 derbies at the Etihad, we've let 13 goals in. do you understand what I mean? Yeah. And then we 0-1 and unlucky to be down, and they're moaning about it. And what do you want?
Do you know the other one is, remember we got smashed by Liverpool 7-0. I don't mean to bring this up, but we went then to Anfield. Remember that in not the reverse fixture. We got a 0-0 draw. That's all we could do at that time was go, and all the Scousers were going absolutely mental. Van Dijk after it. This isn't how the game should be played. Klopp, and we're like, this is where we're at this moment in time. But the improvement now with Amorim is the fact that how entertaining that was today.
And the difference is, I don't think I can remember a time apart from the FA Cup final, but even that was, I would say, we took our chances, that we've gone toe-to-toe with City. We went toe-to-toe and we're better than them. We were better than them. That says a lot. And I know, we didn't have chance after chance after chance, but not many teams do against teams like Manchester City, no matter what state they're in. So, absolutely very, very happy that in this short period of time, Ruben Amorim seems to be able to get a team together to go toe-to-toe and, give him the keys and let him do what he's going to do, because the signs are promising. And, if he can do this now, think about in a couple of seasons' time what we can be doing, because he's obviously going to want to bring players in. He's obviously needs more time to work with the players. But he's had very little time. He's not had many points on the board so far, let's be honest. And to do what he did today with the perfect in-game management as well, very promising signs. Happy with it. Got some more super chats coming in. Dennis G says, love the sweatshirt. Where do you get it? He's talking to you, Tull.
My sister got it me for my birthday, mate.
Get on the phone to Tull's sister.
Yeah, it is a good one, though.
Bipsty Musical says, it was Garnacho last season, now AMAD United Youth. Kia says, wonder what Palestri would be like under Amorim. Ravel, don't get Ricky going. Ravel Byrne says, I have a dream. Jokeres, AMAD and Ardagula. Patrice Everest says, mid-game from him, but at least Anana. Oh, no, I'm not going to read that out, but you can all read it in the chat. Jay Bohemian says, AMAD should start higher up every game. We finally saw properly what he can do there. Maj Rao Wow Wow Wee Wah says, my Kev looking sexier when we win.
Yeah. My burner account.
Barima says, Diallo killing that difficult chance AMAD created because of his poor control sums up the struggles in attack. We need better in those moments. We were just talking about that. Kill Robinson says, Ricky is always eventually right. Smoke 2 says, improvement, long way to go, but what a result. Wayne Finnegan says, Manchester is effing red, excuse the language. Kalshuk says, oh, I'm trying to get this up. It's all going crazy, there's so many. There is so many. Let me just get it up here. It's going crazy. 1 second. Goodness me, AMAD loves scoring goals that so slowly trickle to the far post with our hearts in our mouths. City is red. Marcus says, Alphonso Davies for left wing back. Mojo was gifted 15 United Stand memberships. What an absolute legend. Alpha, a member for 34 months, has congratulated Mojo for doing that. And Michael says, I think it was 115 seconds between the two goals. Might be wrong, though. We'll get all of the other super chats in as
Beth,
quickly
totally
as I can.
off topic, but how many likes has the video got so far?
We're on 1.5k so far.
Oh, I thought you would say 115, then I'd say that'd be quite fitting for Man's sake.
1,500 is close.
What I was going to say is, if you get a certain amount, the Ruben Amorim song will get ripped out before the end of the show, or towards the end of the show.
How many do you want, Kev?
I don't. What's being greedy?
Get to 2k. We'll get to 2,000.
Any idea if the
2,000 likes.
If the chat got infiltrated with Rick's right or Beth's right?
I've seen that.
I went and had a look, and it was a mixture.
We've counted them up. They're still counting them.
It might have slightly gone in Ricky's favour, but not by much. Not by much. Forever United, by the way, is sent a super chat of $100 and said, "What a game, great win. Go and get drunk on me after the show. Down with City and happy holidays." Wow. Absolute legend. Let's
Well
get the
done,
rounds
mate.
in after this, guys.
Yeah.
What's everyone's drink of choice tonight?
Guinness.
Guinness.
Red wine.
I'd be Guinness as well.
Manchester's red.
Mine would be a little vodka Diet Coke. That's what I'm on at the minute.
Why not a large one?
Pint of it.
When I say little, I mean quite a heavy pour on the double, really. So if you have a northern measure, it's probably a bit more of a triple, to be fair. Get in your drink of choice down below as well. Ricky, did the game have enough guile in it for you?
Certainly AMAD did. Certainly AMAD did.
Well, I'll read out some stats.
Yeah.
Shots, 10 each, toe-to-toe. On target, 3 each, toe-to-toe. Expected goals, 0.91 for City, 1.99 for Manchester United.
Wow.
An extra expected goal. You never get them stats in a derby in favour of us. Touches in the opposition's box, 18 for City, 22 for Manchester United.
Unbelievable.
Passes in the final third, City had way more, but we don't care about that. Possession, 51% City, 49% United, 50-50.
There you go.
Can you believe it?
The most important statistic or actual fact, Manchester City won.
Manchester
United 2.
And
But I'd take what you're saying there. In terms of how we've competed at the Etihad or against Manchester City in previous sort of years gone by, we've been absolutely done. So very refreshing.
Kev, we've already hit 2k likes.
Oh, I forgot do it already.
Yeah.
Can we not save it towards the end of the show?
Right,
Wesley?
save it towards the
Let's
end.
get 3,000.
Okay, you can't move the goalpost now.
I'm like Mr. Beast.
But
I'm
talking
shameless.
about moving the goalposts, VAR. I mean, we won the game anyway, and we've got to take our chances. Bruno should have scored. He should have. But what? I mean, can we all agree that was a penalty on Hoyland?
I think it's a pen.
I'm going to be unpopular, I don't.
How?
Boo.
I know, I'm
I
sorry.
think it's a
Get out. Get out.
I understand that you have a little bit of rose tinted spectacles on, and I heard Gary Neville arguing with the with the referee that they have, whatever he's called, had a referee on it, didn't they? And he was saying to him, I think he's got his leg across him there, and he hasn't played the ball, which he didn't play the ball, and he did put his leg across him. Do you know what I mean? You can't argue with that.
The best was though, Ricky, what was it? It's not a penalty, it's just clumsy. So I was like, can clumsy not be? Is that not what a penalty is?
Sometimes they say things like
like,
that.
what?
The referee also said,
it's just
the
clumsy.
referee also, that's another phrase that they use a lot, it's just a coming together.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Well, they did come together, but he came together with his leg across him a tiny little bit late. Let's be honest, when you talk about a late tackle, you're supposed to be going for the ball, and the ball, well, it wasn't far away, it was like 3 or 4 foot ahead, and he's put his leg across him. Is it not a late challenge? It's a late challenge.
It's how you interpret it. That's why you said, it's not.
I get where you're coming from, Tull. It's a bit of a softie, but
It's one. I think it's.
the comment that you always hear. Without a shadow of a doubt, it would have been a free kick on the halfway line 99 times out of 100.
Yeah, in a different area of the pitch.
Yeah.
What gets
they
me-
just think it's not good enough for a penalty. But I always argue this, the rules are not different in the box. The rules are not different.
Should be the same.
What gets me is Højlund's literally got the ball. He chests it. I think if he actually takes a touch on his foot, they probably give it. And it shouldn't be different because he chests the ball. Diaz gets none of the ball and fully scoops his leg around him and takes him out. How is that not enough contact? And Mike Dean on commentary, who is the referee, who is supposed to give, the analysis of why it should and shouldn't be a penalty, says it's not a penalty in a game like this.
In a game like this. Another great shout. What's the game got to do with it?
Shouldn't every single game be refereed the same?
With the same standards.
I get sometimes you let a little nudge go here and there if it's outside the box, in a derby. I get that. But when it comes to penalties, shouldn't it be refereed the same? And also, in a game like this, last season, Højlund literally nudges Rodri in the slightest bit, he goes down, they give a penalty. That's soft as anything.
Yeah,
and
even
that's given
softer.
as a penalty. On VAR as well.
Yeah.
It goes to VAR and then they give it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just... The
They
comments
didn't even look at it again, did
anyway,
they?
Yeah.
Didn't even look at it.
It's just annoying because...
I'm just glad it's not cost us today.
If VAR would have looked at that, I think there's a great chance to give it.
I think they did look at it.
But
They did look at
they
it.
didn't ask the ref to look at it, did they? I think that's my point.
Yeah, that's the one.
They
Anyway,
just decided.
let's leave that in the past because
leave it in
we've
the past.
won
Don't
anyway.
matter.
But it needs to be called
There
out.
was plenty of time left in that game. If we'd have got that pen, we might have lost. You'll never know.
Here's another interesting stat to bring up. In Man City's last 10 games, Pep Guardiola 1 win. In Man City's last 10 games, 2 wins for Amorim because he won with Sporting as well. Absolutely love it. Right, let's move on. I'm going to get these Amorim quotes in a bit. But I just want to say, Martinez, Maguire, De Ligt, class. Do you think that's the best back three performance we've seen so far under Amorim?
Yeah.
Defensively, yeah.
Yep, and on the ball.
Yeah, you have to say
And
that.
I wasn't totally against it because at the start of the game, when I seen Harry Maguire, when I was talking to you again on countdown to kick off, I thought Maguire into the back. I didn't think, I'm going to be on Maguire watch. Is he going to let us down? Because he's comfortable playing that system of a back three. He's played it with England, and he looks so much more comfortable. Hats off. Whatever off to Harry Maguire tonight. He put in a right shift, and the three of them complement each other well. It was obvious early on that Haaland was trying to pull onto, I'd say, the weaker link in Martinez. It's only because they're a total mismatch in height that he was trying to pull onto Martinez every time. But even Martinez, to an extent, in the first half, he won a header that he flicked out for a corner, and you look and think, how's he winning a header against Haaland, who's, he's not twice the size of him, but you get the gist of,
He won the header because it was a bit lower.
Yeah, but it's...
I used to play centre forward and it used to drive me mad. I'm 6 foot, or I was, I think I've shrunk a bit.
But
I was 6 foot
anticipation
2, and
as well.
sometimes I'm playing against someone who's 5'8", and the ball comes in at about 6 foot, so he's jumping to head it, and I'm stooping a bit to head it, and my manager used to say, don't let him beat you in the air. He's not beating me in the air, the ball's too low, you know what I mean?
But it's anticipation.
And that was a low header, it was a low header, but he did well.
It's reading the game.
You said you disagreed with Roy Keane. Do you agree with him on this?
Go on.
It was well deserved for Ahmad. He's got energy and quality. You need certain qualities to play for Manchester United, and he's got them. Some players can't find their feet at Manchester United, but he looks like he's comfortable to wear the red shirt.
He's redeemed himself.
Spot on.
Also, in terms of Ruben Amorim, he has been talking after the game, and he's been speaking about Garnacho and Rashford. He said it's not a disciplinary issue. He said it's just simply they have to fight to get themselves into the team. He said you've tried a lot of different things with Rashford, so you try a different tactic, basically, I think, basically to get the best out of him. And he said Garnacho and Rashford, next week it'll be a normal week, they'll train, and if they train well enough and fight well enough, they'll be in the team or on the bench.
I love that.
That's the right
Even
example
better.
to set
That's
up.
even better than it being a disciplinary, that, because he's basically gone, they're not playing good enough, you're not in.
He's basically saying
them as footballers.
He's basically saying, are you going to stand up to this, work hard and get in this team? Are you going to rise up to the challenge I've set you?
Yeah.
Because, you know, under Eric Ten Hag, Rashford was played, didn't work. What's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again?
That's been going on for years.
How do we get the best out of these players? It's going to upset them to not play, you'd hope, in a game like this, or not be part of the squad, because he expects more from them.
Tell you what it'll do as well. There's a load of players in that squad who are guaranteed you'll be fed up of playing with them too over the last year or two. And it gives them a little feeling of trust, a little feeling of, well, I'm backing you lot. Do you know what I mean? It gives them, the other players, a little bit of a boost that those two players who aren't been performing, who they're so used to seeing just get picked week in, week out, regardless of how they're playing, well, they're not playing good enough now, so they're out of the team. It gives the other players just a better feeling in the game. It gives you a better atmosphere. Like I said before, the more players you've got on the pitch who are tidy, who are neat and tidy, look after the ball, bring the right energy, move off the ball well, it's contagious. If you've got 2-3 players on the pitch who are stinking the pitch up, individual performances suffer. Your head drops. It does drop. If you're turning up and playing really well, but just consistently you've got 2-3 players on the pitch who are playing crap every week, I guarantee your individual performance will drop off as well.
And that's where it comes down to AMAD as well, isn't it? Like you've correctly said. I know you mentioned Jadon Sancho to an extent, but imagine AMAD's been sat on the bench, probably putting it in training or whatever under Eric Ten Hag. Yeah,
you were ripping your hair out, wouldn't you?
Oh, literally. You know, and for the performances that Garnacho's been kind of hit and miss, but Rashford really for the last 20 months has not been putting it in. And now it's up to Rashford. This is the wake-up call. It's whether the ego thing, whether he's going to throw all the toys and everything out of his pram, the dummy, the lot, and say, I'm bigger than this, I should be, you know, and it could be the end. Or it could spark a reaction from him. You would hope that it sparks a reaction, but at the age of 27, I think you're too far gone now to get somebody in that kind of stature that's now going to like knuckle down and think, I'm going to challenge AMAD. But that's how it should be. But for me, this is AMAD Diallo day, without a shadow of a doubt. This is the day when AMAD, I know we've said it a few times this season, but his levels, he's just like this now. Well, taking his opportunity.
This is another very interesting quote from Ruben Amorim on his decision to drop Marcus Rashford. When people in the club are losing their jobs, we have to push our standards incredibly high. So just basically just saying, like, it's nothing's happened off the pitch. We just need higher standards from these players. Yeah. We need them to push every single day. And I think do you know what? It's that sort of thing pays off, especially when you win in the way that we did today. Yeah. Because they'll have to fight to get back into this team now. Because I look at that team, and of course, you know, you're going to need impacts from the bench. Of course you are. But I honestly think Ugarte, Mainu, Bruno and AMAD, that little four, is without a doubt the best four that we have.
I'd agree.
And in sense, I know we've not spoke about Mason Mount, but I was absolutely devastated with the injury, you know, so early on in the game. But sometimes there's moments where you're not delighted that he got injured because you'll never know. We'll never know how that game might have panned out. But the fact that Mainu then comes on early into that game, a little bit shaky at the start, which is, you know, you look at it and think, fair enough, he's coming into a massive game here. Touch was a bit off at the start, but he's getting thrown in because of injury. But the way he grew into that game today, he just gives you something totally different. And I know there wasn't a kind of debate of, you know, where does Mainu fit in? Will Amorim fancy him in this system and that? But I think he's just proved today 100% that, you know, there's definitely room for him in this team without a shadow of a doubt.
I mean, we'll speak about Ugarte, about the midfield players in a second. But just to finish up on the centre-backs, because I just want to give him like a little bit of extra credit, I think why Martinez, Maguire and De Ligt work so well together is I think they bring out the best in each other. For example, you know, Martinez on the ball is fantastic. Maguire is also very good on the ball. But Maguire aerially great presence, and I thought he tracked Haaland really well. And De Ligt was excellent in the press, and his awareness of everything that's going on around him. I just think as a back three, they had that experience, and they all had attributes to bring to the party to complement each other.
Yeah, I was thinking De Ligt's a good one you can look at, because De Ligt's strengths by far is off the ball. So good off the ball. In the air, doesn't get beat. And then I think one-on-one as well. I think even though he's not, you wouldn't look at De Ligt and say he's rapid, but one-on-one, I think he's brilliant. I think by putting Maguire in the middle, I think Johnny Evans could also do the role, but I went with Maguire before the game because when he played against Arsenal, I thought he took us up a level on the ball. Yes, I understand that sometimes Harry Maguire can be a little bit of a liability off the ball. I understand that. But I think on the ball, if you just isolate and look at Harry Maguire on the ball, he gives us a bit more control coming out from the back. And if you're going to control the game, you do start from the back. It comes from your centre-backs. And obviously midfielders got to do a job, but it does start from your centre-backs. And I just think Harry Maguire in the middle, it lets you get a better De Ligt on the right, because De Ligt's then focused, like you said, he's pushing up on the press. He's 1v1 with players. He's not having to dictate. He's not the one who's got to pick up the ball and spread it, which I think Maguire's better at. And I think Martinez just had a steady Martinez game. He just had a typical Martinez game.
In terms of De Ligt, can I just say, can we just take a moment as well to remember the fact that when we signed him, what a great double deal as well, Mazraoui and De Ligt. But on De Ligt, when you had Graham played the game, Souness, said that De Ligt was lightweight, and didn't understand why United had signed him. Have a couple of them, Graham.
Honestly, I know Mazraoui's like signing of the season, but De Ligt's pushing it. And Ugarte's doing really well now as well. Like,
they're getting better and better, which is it's great to see.
De Ligt, first Manchester derby, first win. I thought he was. I don't want to just go on about De Ligt because I thought Maguire was really good as well. But I mean, that pass from Martinez at the end, obviously, AMAD makes it with his run. It's fantastic. But
so
to spot that out, it's just really, and to have Euro coming off the bench in a game like that, being thrown in the deep end and having to defend well. He did a really good job, I thought. That
game changer, 1-0 down, bring Euro on, 2-1.
Speaking about game changers, let's talk about it, and then I'll get some more super chats in. Anthony off the bench again, comes on, we win. Came on midweek, we win. Obviously, there's other subs that come on and make a difference. But Anthony in that right wing spot, some good link up with AMAD down that side in both games now.
Yeah, that was the main thing Anthony brought, wasn't it? He supported AMAD. He came on straight away, and I think his first action he was involved in was playing, a little 1-2 with AMAD, and then a little flick in behind for AMAD, which I can't remember if anything came from it. But AMAD, it was an opportunity, but it was AMAD in behind the defence. So you've got to give Anthony credit there, because he also did that on Thursday, again linking up with AMAD. So it makes you think. These players probably think we keep talking about AMAD Diallo, but they probably think AMAD Diallo is such a joy to play with. It must be so easy to play off him. I even thought when we played Forest, I know we got beat, but I thought Bruno looked the best he looked in a long time when he was just next to AMAD Diallo.
Let's run a poll in the chat. Does Anthony have a future under Ruben Amorim? Because we know he's never going to live up to the 80-90 million pound price tag, just never. But coming on is that right wing back. He has made a difference in the last couple of games, and Amorim, I've noticed, has made a point to speak about it in his comments as well. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what you guys think. On the poll, where should AMAD play? 74% of you say 10, and 25% of you say right wing back. So the majority of you think he should play as a 10. I mean, anything to add on the Anthony thing, Ricky and Kev?
I would probably argue, sorry Ricky, that the fact that he didn't start today. Yes, he'll be in his thoughts, but you have to look at the scoreline and the way the game was dictated from that point. The point of where Amorim brings Anthony into the game, we're kind of chasing the game. So I think it was, I wouldn't say an easy sub to make, but he didn't start with him, did he? So what does that say about him? He could be a wing back. But
I don't think
more
he's started
long-term,
yet. Has he started a game yet?
Only Bodo Glimt.
Yeah,
so you're looking when you're chasing a game today,
sub?
and he was if he wants to be it, very expensive super sub if that's the way you want to play it. But
it's like just it's an improvement, because a couple of weeks ago we thought there was no way he'd even have a minute really, and now he's coming off in the last 2 games and made an impact. So small improvements is what you want to see, but let's see how things go. Get voting in the poll. I don't think he'll be a starter, But if we can use him off the bench, and then maybe, you know, a team might come in for him in the future, he gets his prize.
A lot of roles at United now become redundant. We talk about the wingers, so we talk about there's no Garnacho today, no Rashford, you know, Anthony did not start, but...
I will say one thing that I do like about Anthony playing at wing back is it gives you something going forward. It gives you something going forward because he does... Obviously, you know,
well.
as like a right winger in a 4-3-3, he didn't have enough going forward. But in this system where, you know, your wing backs are going to get a little bit of space and you have them forwards ahead of them, I just think he gives you something extra going forward, definitely more than what Diallo does. And Mazraoui, to be fair, did play well, but he was tiring. And in Ruben Amorim's system, there is rotation. And we've seen in the last 2 games, he has give you that extra little bit of something going forward and gives, you know, AMAD space as well. So I think there could be something there, but let's see how it develops. He definitely gives you more going forward than what Diallo has in recent times, but they do play on different sides. I'd like to see Anthony as a left wing back, but he's just never going to do it. He always plays right, doesn't he? But let's see what happens. Get voting in the poll. Got some super chats in. Kelvin Bob Manuel says, my first ever super chat. I am from Nigeria. Hi, and welcome to the community. Herman, welcome to the United Stand Members Club. Parul says, AMAD and Ugarte were colossal today. Ugarte is a monster. The way he anticipates passes and covers the space is amazing. Maguire was class as well. John says we need to improve going forward. Still do. We all can acknowledge that. Delicate Official says get me Teo Hernandez as left wing back. Paddy, a member for 7 months. Pep's getting sacked in the morning, sacked in the morning, sacked in the morning. Seeing someone saying, what simulation do we live in where United fans are singing that to Pep Guardiola? Yeah, like, what is going on? Griever says, what are we thinking about Rashford and Garnacho? We've spoken about that. Frank Skills, Glory Golly, Manchester United. Just to put it out there as well, anyone from City's watching, I do think it's time for Pep to leave. You know? I think it's time for him to go. I think that would be a great decision for you guys.
He'll be on scratch watch tonight, won't he? He'll be scratching the head off himself going...
The news says Erik ten Hag dealt with the player power and lack of consistency. With Amorim, I think the players now understand that they no longer hold the power of the manager.
Bang on.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was going to say that before when we were talking about, Rashford and Garnacho watched that game from home today. Erik ten Hag, it was like they'd get picked no matter what. Straight away now, there's a power shift. That they know where they are in that hierarchy now, whereas under ten Hag, they could have, from their point of view, where they're just getting picked every week. He was going out drinking, for fuck's sake, before day of a game, and he was still getting picked the next week. What does that tell you? He won't have occurred, mate. But now, straight away, there's a disciplinary thing in there. I know we said it's not disciplinary, but it is. Do you know what? It is disciplinary. You've been dropped because of your performances, and now he knows, if I want to play, I've got to perform.
Alex Dreyer says, Beth, you were keeping your eye on Martinez. Your opinion? We're very well remembered. I have said I've not been entirely impressed with Martinez this season in recent weeks. But I've got to say, today he turned up. He played really well. And that's the thing about Martinez. He's a leader. He played fantastically well in that FA Cup final. And I knew he had it in him because... he's played very well for Manchester United before, especially in his first season at Manchester United. But as of late, I'm going to be honest, I think off the ball, he's got lost too many times. But today he was top draw. I thought he dealt with Erling Haaland very well. I think it helped having Maguire with him to deal with that. I thought aerially he was fantastic off corners. I know we did concede a set piece, but that wasn't to do with him. Off other corners he did well, got it away. Erling Haaland, I remember, was on his back. When he's so much taller than him, his strength was good. And obviously his passing was top draw as well. So I hope Martinez can get back into form and continue that. Andreas Goose says that Diallo can't cross. Bruno was terrible most of the time. So happy with AMAD. Ruben is great. We kept De Bruyne, Doku and Haaland quiet the whole game. I mean, let's talk about it. Mojo, by the way, with Mojo, just an absolute legend of the United Stand, his memberships, his super chats. He said, we'd organised a screening here in Delhi. The moment AMAD's winner went in, I have never seen fans go absolutely mental like we all did. So happy that there's a bit of happiness in the fan base and people are enjoying the games, because it felt like a huge change today. And we were watching the game together in the studio. You know, we all went mental, and the feeling, I can't even describe it. It's so much better going into a fans forum when you have a win like that, and celebrating with everyone. I'll be happier for the next 2 weeks now off the back of that. Obviously, we've got Spurs on Thursday. It could all come crashing down. By the way, Spurs are 5-0 up against Southampton at half time.
Wow.
So great for us going into that game with the confidence that's going to give them. But let's talk about 2 midfielders today, guys. I mean, the three midfielders, we'll talk about Kobbie Mainoo as well. But Bruno Fernandes, Ricky, I'll come to you on this one. Got a bit of criticism in the second half because maybe, you know, got a little bit erratic compared to his first half performance where me and Tull thought he did really well. Should have scored that chance, but everyone can miss a chance, like you said. Slotted the penalty home and, again, captaining the side, leading the side. What were your overall thoughts on him?
Overall, I thought he did okay, but there's just still too many sloppy moments for me. I love the fact that, you know, we've left Rashford out who loses the ball too often. We've left Garnacho out who loses the ball too often. The manager's replaced him with players who take the better options, make better decisions. And when I re-watch it, what I think I'm going to do, I've already mentioned a crossfield pass by Diallo that got cut out, and I'm not going to count every time somebody loses the ball, because you can lose the ball because there's too many men around you. You can lose the ball because your teammate gives you an hospital pass and you're not even favourite for that ball. There's lots of different reasons. But when you give the ball away sloppily, that's what we've got to cut out. And I noticed Bruno do it 4 or 5 times today. When I watch it back, I might well find, it won't surprise me, that we might have only given the ball away sloppily 8 or 10 times, and Bruno will have been half of those occasions. Now, Bruno fans talk about, you know, because he's trying to be creative, but it's nothing to do with that. I mean, there was one instance where we got a free kick deep in our own half, and he tried to play a crossfield pass, and it went straight to them. You know what I mean? Real dangerous situation. There was one where the ball was played to him. We were playing, as I mentioned to you before, Beth, on the build-up. We had a really long passage of play with loads and loads of passes, and it came to Bruno just 5 or 8 yards inside his own half, and he just turned it round the corner blindly. We'd just done about 12 passes. Just get it and pass it, and he turns it round. He just goes straight to a defender for no given reason. There's nothing on. There was the time when impatiently he tried to cross it when he shouldn't have tried to cross it. He went about 12 yards over the bar. The one where AMAD dribbled it into the box, and it ended up breaking loose to Bruno. And the one where AMAD ended up kicking the post in frustration, it bounces loose to Bruno. It's a dead easy ball to control, and it went out for a goal kick. Yeah. There's just too many sloppy moments. We've got rid of 2 players who have too many sloppy moments, and if he doesn't pull his finger out, I'm sure the manager will be onto him. I'm sure he will. I
just absolutely loved his celebration when he scored the pen. Absolutely loved it.
It's great to have a trusted penalty taker. I was over the moon. I was praying for him to score that goal. He took it great, and I was dead relieved.
It was massive pressure on him, but I meant to say earlier, I mean, the big moment of the match, really, where, as a United fan, when Bruno missed a chance, he goes through, lifts it over the keeper, puts it wide, you think, because I kept telling myself, if we can get a chance and make this opportunity and get in, you know, get 1-1 here, it is game on. And when he misses that chance, sometimes you just think, this is not going to be our day. Yeah. But then when he gets the penalty, it's almost redemption then, and you think, he's not going to mess about with this, you know, he's going to make sure he scores. And I think in that kind of situation, you wouldn't have wanted any other player on that pitch. Even though he missed that chance just prior to it, you're thinking, no, he's experienced enough to know now, as the captain, he's going to stick this in the net. And he did. And
then Mainoo Tull coming on for Mount early doors. By the way, I really hope Mason Mount's injury isn't serious. You could see in his face.
Oh, he's devastated.
Absolutely gutted. It's so unfortunate for him. But it is what it is. Mainoo came on, got his opportunity to kind of prove to Amorim, I want to be part of this team, I want to be in this team. How do you thought Kobbie Mainoo did? Loved it.
Yeah, you know what? Last season, I was very vocal about, even though it's only his first year playing and he's young, I was very vocal about how I thought he was the best player in that squad. And I kind of almost forgot about him a little bit just because he's not been playing. I've just kind of, you know, obviously knew he was good and I knew he'd come back into the team eventually. But I really did forget how good he was. He is bloody brilliant, isn't he? He is so, so good. I thought, and do you know what? I thought Bruno's first half was brilliant and he level dropped off a little bit in the second half, but I thought Mainoo picked it up. I thought, you know, just because Bruno dropped the ball a little bit, didn't matter. Mainoo picked it up big time. And absolutely buzzing for him, because even us before the game were saying, when we seen the line-up, we don't fancy Mainoo, does he? Well, and when Mainoo came on, I said, he's got to match that intensity now that Mount had. You know, obviously, you know you're going to get quality with Mainoo on the ball, but I said he's got to match what Mount was doing off the ball, and I thought he did it very well.
I actually thought as well, and we've not said this in a long time, around a United midfield, I thought our midfield was better than theirs.
Absolutely. Like, I was saying it in the first half. I thought, Kev, you can back me up on this. I'm usually absolutely negative about this squad. Yeah. The amount of times I've said I absolutely hate these lot. I was on the verge of, well, you seen me on Thursday, mate. I'd had enough. I'd had enough of them, mate. But today at half time, 1-0 down. I thought we could go. I'm not going to say win, but I thought we're not out of this game. They've shown me enough in that first half. Better than I've seen from him in years, mate. Absolute years. The way they kept the ball, I don't care that we didn't have a shot on target. I had people say, yeah, but you didn't create a chance to have a shot on target. I don't care about all of that. The way we kept the ball was better than we've done in a long, long time. There was fluidity. There was neat, tidy passes. No one was giving the ball away stupidly.
Maybe was a big part of that when he came on.
Everyone was moving. Yeah. Everyone was joining up with each other. It was brilliant. That's what you want to say.
That's what I didn't want to say earlier.
Do you know what it is? Sorry to cut you off, Kev. The chances will come. You've got to have the foundation. You've got to get that right. Then your chances come. Then your shots on target come. But you're not getting it, or at least you're not getting it sustainably until you get that foundation built. And they showed me enough in that first half today where at half time there were some people saying it's game over now. I thought absolutely not. I think we're well in this game.
That's why I didn't want to say it wasn't a blessing in disguise that Mount went off injured, but it was a little bit of a game changer with Mainu coming in, because you certainly wouldn't have been making a change that early in the game. And again, we'll never know if Mount had played. It could have been a different story. But no, I thought he did do well. But we were forced into that change, and just his composure, and he's a total different player to Mount, Mainu.
But Mainu was the definition of being ready and came on, and I thought he was a big reason why we kept the ball super well.
That's today. A big thing to ask a player to, once somebody gets injured. Like I say, his first couple of touches, you could tell they were heavy. To try and get involved in a game like that's a bit pinball, it's like end to end, but he quickly just like zapped into the zone, and he was in with what the manager wanted the team to do.
And just to give credit, Dead, quick words, absolutely due, because we're talking about how good we were on the ball, but we were dying for years. We need a destroyer.
To bring him up.
Manuel Ugarte today, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Challenged every second ball. He was in the face constantly. The amount of interceptions he made in the first half, he had us ticking. Those guys on the ball, yeah, they were making it happen on the ball, but he's the one who was winning the ball and making it happen for them.
Love Happy Tull.
You don't see it this often.
Soak it up.
This system for Ugarte, he just thrives in it, and the fact we are going to stick with Amorim long term, and hopefully he's going to be super successful at Manchester United. And Ugarte is only 23 years of age, is literally, it just makes me so happy, because I think this is a signing we've got absolutely spot on, and he's exactly what this team needed. Energy, intensity, and keeps it simple. Passes the ball, he never loses it barely. Some barely ever loses it, just passes it off, keeps it ticking, like you said. I mean, Ricky, Manuel Ugarte, I know you're a tough man to please when it comes to a midfielder, but are you happy with his performances?
Over the moon.
He's getting better and better, isn't he? Game by game.
Yeah, he's looking good, Ugarte, without a doubt. And today, I agree with you, Beth. He looks for those simple passes, but there was a couple of times today where he looked to pass it backwards, and it was just a little bit awkward. And he's got like that bit of peripheral vision. He sees round the corner passes, and they're good and they're accurate. And I was dead pleased.
He does that windscreen kind of look, doesn't he? He's always looking and thinking ahead.
Do you go as far to say he's one of the first names on the team sheet?
I think he's got to be an automatic starter, yeah.
In Amorim's team.
Yeah.
And it's no coincidence, I've said it before, Amorim has managed this player before, be it for a different team, but he obviously thinks highly of him, and yet he's reaping the rewards.
I think this shows how important managers are to players as well in different systems. Because
Absolutely.
Ugarte under Ten Hag compared to Ugarte under Amorim is just two different players.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, look at City, you'll have City fans this evening that they're still carrying on about Rodri. I know it's a massive miss, but he is a huge player, to the system that they want to play. But United have won tonight, so I'm not bothered.
Yeah.
Ricky, I know you love a stat. Ricky,
I love a stat.
You love a stat.
Statman Rick.
With today's goal in the Manchester derby, Bruno Fernandes now has 161 goal involvements in all competitions since joining Manchester United, goal/assists. There is no midfielder in the 5 major leagues in all competitions who has more than him.
Yeah, one of the reasons for that is the best players are playing in the Champions League. and we're getting rested in the League Cup.
We're
playing in the Europa League and the League Cup.
Come off
All
it.
competitions, innit?
It's
true. It's
Come
true.
off it. Come off it.
Europa League goals and assists, and League goals,
Appreciate
League
him.
Cup goals and assists against Barnsley and
Appreciate
stuff like that. Get leagues, get some
tough nut to
league,
crack,
Tell you
Ricky.
what,
get
Ricky,
some Premier League stats up.
do you rate Ruben Amorim as a manager?
I like him, yeah.
Well, he's playing him every minute.
He's
Isn't
picking him every minute, aren't we? Yeah.
he? Got to get it in there. He came up on my screen. I thought I've got to bring that in. Ricky, you'll love this one. Gary Neville on Sky Sports.
Go on.
This is a direct quote I'm seeing on Twitter.
But it says that Rick the Red Sox look rubbish.
I hope this isn't a made-up quote because I've seen it on Twitter, but if this is true, Gary Neville from Sky Sports, Marcus Rashford and Alejandro Garnacho are Manchester United's best attackers.
Who said that?
Gary Neville. Thoughts on that, Ricky?
It's rubbish, absolutely
Yeah, he's
rubbish.
a fool.
He's either got
Rubbish.
shares in them or he's responsible for their PR. I just feel like getting up and walking out.
When you were
Having a great
talking
day,
earlier,
so.
I almost cut in earlier, but I thought I won't bother. When you were talking about, if they've got to work hard and they've got to show it. It's not, Marcus Rashford's not good enough. Don't care how hard he works. He isn't good enough.
Gary Neville had a fantastic managerial spell, didn't he?
Yeah.
Ooh, the claws are out.
Sorry. I do like you, I promise.
Well, let's not have it right. He's talking a load of shite.
I do like him as a
Pure
pundit. I do
horseshit.
like him as a pundit, but I don't agree with that.
Two best players.
Michael Neal says Amorim is doing to Garnacho and Rashford what Eric did to Sancho. Let's hope they have a reaction. That's what he wants. He wants that reaction, a positive reaction. Hopefully they can live up to that. Scott Segerman, welcome to the United Stand Members Club. Also, when it's two players, you're not just singling one out as well, which is a bit different. Herman says pundits are more worried about Rashford not playing than the game. Tom Williams says United deserved the win for Kyle Walker's dive. We've got El Nasser 99 says Ruben said it's easier to teach defenders to attack than wingers to defend.
Yeah.
Wingers will need time to adapt to the defensive side of the game. Interesting stuff from the comments. Daniel Condon says AMAD 10 specialist recruited for wing-back positions. Dewald says I've been waiting for justice for the manager. And we have Amulia says AMAD as right wing back, Mazraoui and Diallo offer little on the attack, only good when we have to play teams like Arsenal, City and Liverpool. I think we need to go into the market for wing backs if we're honest. Dennis G 2000 says from the start our team shape was good. Thank you for everyone for putting the super chats in. Sonny says I stopped watching in the 75th minute because I couldn't stand watching this team, and what happened I figured it out. I'm cursed and will fulfil my duty not to watch United so they can win. People believe in little superstitions like that, don't they? When you don't watch a penalty and you think that it gives it a better chance of it going in. I mean, let's have a look at where you're at in the poll. Your poll does Anthony have a place in Amorim's team? It's not really what I was getting at. I meant not necessarily in the starting 11, but just under Amorim. 65% of you said yes, 35% of you said no. So you've not been completely won over. Just wanted to get that out there because a lot of people were talking about it. I don't know how, but we've literally running out of time. But let's quickly touch on Spurs in the Cup. Do you think Amorim will rotate?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Cup's important for him though,
I was
isn't it?
going to
And
say
he's
it's
away
an
from
important
home.
it's a chance of a trophy.
And
This
it's a
isn't
right
it,
tough
really?
game, innit? What score's their game now? 6-0 or something?
I think it was the Euro. I think Euro will get a start.
Euro, yeah.
Yeah, get Euro a
In a
start.
positive way, though, you wouldn't say it's going to be massively understrengthed. I know that was a strong team today, but he'll know, like I say, that the players here now. Would you expect a Rashford and Garnacho to be in for that game?
No.
No, because you want to go out and give yourself the best chance of winning this game on Thursday, is it? It's chance of getting into semi-final, chance of getting to a final, chance of winning a trophy. And I'm sure Amorim will. I think he's
going to do his best to win it in that game, but he will think that he can make 3 or 4 changes without upsetting the rhythm too much.
That's what it is, yeah. Not just for the sake of it. Because they played last Sunday. It's
David Beckham's posted the picture of AMAD on Instagram saying, and the rebuild begins. Big win, big team with players who want to wear the jersey.
the Ivorian
Well done,
Messi.
David. Well done.
Is it too soon to call him the Ivorian Messi? No.
I'm
Are you down for it?
I'm
Yeah.
calling him Messi. I
Go
don't
on,
even care. Honestly, our man is just.
He bloody dribbles like him.
Yeah.
Honest to
Insane.
God.
Flo says, need Miguel Gutierrez. He's an amazing left back / left wing back. That's the Girona one, isn't it? He was on the radar. Negado says, Rasmus just cooked Walker. Yeah, we've seen that. And thank you everyone for your super chats. Kev, we're at 3k likes. You've got to get the Amorim song going.
Yeah. Oh, right now?
Yeah.
Well, I will introduce it by, obviously, first of all, saying this one is for you, Liam Gallagher, Noel Gallagher, Curly Watts from Coronation Street, Bernard Manning, that Moonchester thing at City's ground, Mary D's, which is some bar near Man City's ground.
Helen with the bell.
Helen with the massive bell that swings it about and like in the bell end. This one is for you. He hates Man City, he loves... Oh, I've got it wrong.
Oh.
Wait. 1 minute.
Stage fright.
He hates Man City, loves MUFC, Ruben Amorim. The football genius thinks Pep's a penis, Ruben Amorim.
Hey.
Oh, Amorim. Ruben Amorim. The voice nearly cracked, but have a bit of that.
Get the high notes in, Kev.
Brilliant. Love it, Kev.
Yeah, thank you very much for the likes. I did promise I would do that. I can't believe I got it wrong at the start, but...
Thank you, guys. Kev smashed it.
Oh, God.
Absolutely smashed it. It was worth the wait. Hit a like on the video for
I need
Kev.
a red wine
Subscribe
now.
to the channel. Definitely push that. Subscribe for that. I mean, you do need a
Where
red
are you going to get
have a red
content like
wine.
that? Do you
Have
know
a
what
red
I mean?
wine and watch it back. That's what you need to do. Last but not least, guys, because we have gone over the hour, unfortunately. We'd sit here all night if we could. Man of the match. Tough. It's really tough, this one. Really, really tough. Man of the match.
Should we go 3, 2, 1 and we all say it?
3, 2, 1.
The Ivorian Messi.
Magic moment.
Ooh,
I've got a favourite moment.
Magic
Go
moment.
on, Rick. You're in.
I don't know if it was the first goal or the second goal that he scored, but I love camaraderie in a team. I absolutely love it like there's no tomorrow, and I'm sure the manager does. And the first two people who mobbed him were two of the substitutes who hardly kick a ball, Victor Lindelof and Casemiro, and they were absolutely loving it, and I loved it.
I love that, Ricky. I love that as well.
Yeah, I like that.
It really annoys me when I go and watch the highlights back on YouTube and they cut the celebration. I'm like, I want to see it. Kev, your magic moment?
That's a great one, that. It's got to be the AMAD goal. The last time I celebrated a goal like that was probably the one that he scored against Liverpool in the 4-3 in the FA Cup. So for the fact that he's knocked it over the keeper and you think the chance has kind of gone, to remain his composure and at the angle to even get that on target, and then it was just like, oh, and it went through a pair of legs and it was like, go on, he's going ahead. I was like, to celebrate moments like that.
I couldn't believe, by the way, that he got into a slightly similar position twice in a couple of minutes, because the one where he won the pen, there was a moment where if he was just quick enough, you think he's going to get a shot in here because the net was empty.
Yeah.
And he didn't, and he turned back instead and ended up getting shot down. So then he ended up in the dead same situation, really, or dead similar, and this time he went for the shot. And
but to win it in that fashion
brilliant.
as well,
Absolutely
against
brilliant.
that lot, absolutely brilliant. You just can't beat it.
Cool.
Honestly, I think you covered everything in the game, so do you know what I'm going to go with? I'm going to go with Amorim for picking the lineup.
Well done.
Put in midfielders in the 10.
Mine was, if anybody's seen it, after the game when AMAD goes and shakes Pep's hand.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen it?
No.
He goes
It's
and
a
shakes
great
Pep's hand and
picture.
Pep's like that. It's hilarious, that picture. It's
Pep
on
probably saw Messi and went, whoa. Probably saw a flash of Messi's face and went, whoa.
It's on my Instagram.
Blink.
We could even say Hoyland's sort of social media posts with
Yeah, that's another
Kyle
cracker,
Walker
yeah.
in it.
I
That's
loved it
another
at the end as
corker.
well when the camera was on him and Mainu starts like getting Ahmad's shirt and like pointing at the camera. I love that. It's camaraderie that you were saying, Ricky. So many to pick from. It was absolutely brilliant. And I am going to go home very, very happy. And I'm sure everybody at home is absolutely feeling the feelings you get from a win like that. Honestly, it's just, you get such a high, don't you? I want to be getting out of bed tomorrow morning with a spring in my step.
And it feels extra better when you deserved it.
Oh,
We've not
100%.
It
shit-housed
wasn't smash
anything.
and grab.
No, we've not shit-housed anything. We've not got lucky. We've not had a dodgy referee decision. We turned up, we played them off the pitch, and we deserved to win that game.
The only thing that would have made it better is if it was at Old Trafford and I was there in the crowd. But
Feels so good to win at the Etihad, though, doesn't
in the
it?
studio with you guys, it was unreal. The best was when Craig's phone went off. Anyway, we'll talk about after the game. Talk about after the show.
He didn't warn you about a goal, did he?
No, what happened
It
was,
said-
right, so we're like a minute behind because we're a minute behind anyway. But obviously the goals were quite in quick succession. And Greg goes, My dad just texted me, get in, but it might be about, and then we were like, ah!
Yeah. I thought it was about the equaliser. And then we were
He
like,
said it as the goal went in, so it was just, it was funny anyway.
what a moment.
Look, everyone, we thank you so much. Do we fancy ourselves against Spurs?
It's all about momentum now, isn't it? Confidence as well. Again, you have trust in this manager at a very early stage, not just based on today's game, but like I say, I don't think he's going to shake it up that much. You know, it could be like for like, but no, I'm confident.
Confident?
Did say 2-1 today, didn't I?
Yeah, Spurs is a weird one. You've like,
tough, isn't
they're such a weird team. Sometimes they turn up and they look absolutely mint, and then sometimes
I'm glad they're walloping Southampton because Spurs.
Yeah,
usually
maybe
win and then lose.
They do a bad game now. They're really weird, very inconsistent team. I think if we turn up, simply put, turn up and play the way we did today, we should have no problem.
Ricky?
It's going to be tough.
It will be.
But, you know, fingers crossed we can do it.
Do you know what? Sack it. We're going to win. I don't care. I'm on a high.
There we go.
Also, Matt, because I know you'll be watching, I did put 1-1 in the group chat when you asked for my score prediction, but rewind the clip. On the build-up show, I said I went with 1-1, but I'm changing to a 2-1, and I'm sticking with that. So make sure you get that down on the sheet. But look, everyone, thank you for watching. We appreciate all the super chats. Tried to get through as many as possible. Absolutely loved this forum. It was fantastic. Hopefully, the winning feeling will continue into Thursday. Ricky, thank you very much.
Thank you. Enjoyed
Any final words?
Absolutely loved it, that's all. Loved it.
Kev, a song that will go down in history. I hope
it does.
I hope we have you singing it on a weekly basis.
What a fitting night to bring that out as well. I did that ages ago, and I was thinking it could backfire, you know, tremendously this evening if Manchester City did win. I was expecting a lot of inboxes, but yeah, have that, Kyle Walker and all you Man City fans.
Tull?
Feels good to be happy.
Do you know what? I'm going to listen to Tull more often because in games he gets a feeling for it, and you kept saying we're going to win this, we're going to win this.
It was the same in the FA Cup final. From just the first 15-20 minutes, you really have a look how you're moving on the ball, and you can tell straight away when there's something wrong, and there was nothing wrong with me in that first half today. Nothing wrong with the team, in that first half today, so I was confident.
There are signs, there are positive signs to take, and we take them and we move forward. Keep moving forward. Cup comes in the week. Stay tuned for all the latest news from the United Stand. Thank you everybody for watching. Have a lovely Sunday evening, and we will see you on the next one.